just came out, so let's go and compare it against the iPhone 12 Pro and see which one you should pick up. Now, I will leave both of these linked down in the description below, so you can get them both from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see they are way more similar than not. At least that's how it appears in terms of the first eye impressions, but there's a little bit more that meets the eye. First of all, the main difference, the notch is up top. You can definitely see that the notch on the iPhone 13 Pro, which is at the bottom, is a little bit smaller than the notch on the iPhone 12 Pro, which is up top. I really don't think it's a crazy big deal, but it is kind of cool, and I'm really happy to see that. They really didn't make any improvements though, like it's still the same functionality, but I'm glad they changed it up a little bit. On top of that, you now have, this is crazy, Pro Motion on the iPhone 13 Pro. So now you have that 120 hertz panel. Now, I've had Pro Motion before on iPads, and I prefer it, but to be honest, iOS is still so smooth that when I look at both of them, it's a difference, but it's really not that crazy big of a difference as I thought, but it's still really cool. Now, in terms of the thinness and thickness between the two, it was said that the iPhone 13 Pro is heavier and thicker. I don't really think it's astronomically thicker, but it does look a little bit thicker. It may also feel a little bit heavier, but I don't really get that vibe. Now on the back, I do have the blue version of the 13 Pro and the gold version of the 12 Pro, and you can see the camera sensors are actually much bigger on the iPhone 13 Pro, and we'll hit on those in a second, but you are getting much bigger sensors on this phone. The 12 Pro, still great camera, still there's nothing wrong with it, but you look at the difference, I mean, it's definitely super crazy. There's nothing really left on the left side except for the power button and SIM card eject tool or whatever, and that's really pretty much it on the outside. Now, the next thing, I mean, the longevity of both of these phones, we have to talk about the future. And because the iPhone 13 Pro has a newer chipset, obviously it's going to probably outlast the 12 Pro, which is expected. You know, I'm not really too mad about it. It's kind of just what happens with time. But the 12 Pro is still going to be lasting for a long time. And I've kind of estimated that these two things may end up getting like a 5S and 6, you know, iPhone 5S, iPhone 6 type of relationship where they're going to be getting the same amount of software longevity. You know, it could possibly be the case. They are so similar that I just think that's what's going to happen. We'll see what happens in the future, but in terms of longevity, if you want the phone that's going to last the longest amount of time, the 13 Pro is probably the best one, but the iPhone 12 Pro is still a very, very good option as well. So in terms of the outside, that covers it up there.